by your silence, you had a duty of care to someone, but you didn't. And I keep saying, where I've worked or the spaces of influence, I don't want to be remembered for, my title. I want to be remembered for how I made people feel. I think Maya Angelou said it very well when she said that, people will often forget what you said and what you did, but people really don't forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing. See people at where they are. Don't see people through the lenses of, my experiences. Don't see people because of your social, economic, and class status. See people as people, because I think that's how humanity, like I believe in humanity, and I think we all is not lost. But I think it's important for us to remain grounded as well. And I think those are practices. Make time for people, help people along the way, do things that, it doesn't matter if you're a CEO. If someone says the help that I read right now is for you to coach me through an interview process because I get tongue tied, spending 5 minutes, you don't know how invaluable that 5 minutes will be. Small things like that, I think, is important, and will change the narrative, because then I remember people will remember how you made them feel. They won't remember about what you said or where you worked and spaces of influence you are. They'll remember those small things, which I think are really, really core. And I think we should do this now in our lifetime. Like when you're living, like don't wait to read these things that I did when I die, God forbid. But I want people to like be present, live, help people. Like don't wait to like have people. And I think Africans, we're very good at that. We say wonderful things, even if you are like, the people are there just terrible, smiling. Yeah, like, oh my God, like I am coming to confirm you died.
I guess it's a fear of death also.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's important for us to see people. But I think one of my best advice is also let it go. Along this journey of life, you'll meet people who absolutely resent you for no absolute reason. And it's okay. It's hard, especially I feel, again, how we're socialized. We're always told we're wonderful. My parents always told me they love me. Till today, like if I end my conversation, my parents will always say, I love you, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And then you meet someone who, like, they just see you and they just, like, you can see the loath they have for you.
Yeah, for no
but I think
reason,
just let that go. Like, recognize, people's struggles are very different. It
That's
might
true.
not be about you. It actually might be what you stand for, that there is something they're struggling with. And some people might just hate you because you like white. Like,
That's
we're both
true.
in white, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But just recognizing that you can't please everyone. And I think that's, even especially as a leader and as a feminist leader, again, doing the right thing is not always popular. People might resent you, and that's okay. That's okay. But people do come around. I've seen along the years, people who resented you one day will call you and be like, I need you.
Yeah, I hear you.
And
I hear you.
Again, when that moment comes, as much as you want to open like the cheat sheet of the things they did wrong to you, please hold yourself.
Yeah.
And just recognize that, people do come around. And of course, you're a bit skeptical. But if it's something that will not cost you anything, I think just being kind. I think being kind is really important.
Yeah, I hear, when you say that, it reminds me of one of my living principles, which I think is found in the Bible, in the Gospels. It says, "Be cunning as a serpent, but gentle as a dove." And so for me, every time I go, but when I have to negotiate among men or at a difficult table, I always remember that I'm here. I'm not here for myself. And I'm not here for my class, my ethnicity, or that.
Yes.
Because I think feminism that's another conversation. I mean, gets caught up in the intersections of class, ethnicity, and other things.
Yeah.
But it's that when I'm there, I need to be gentle as a dove, but also as cunning as a serpent.
Wow. Wow, that's
wow. I guess this brings us to your chosen 3 anecdotes. Things that you tell us would inform us in terms of your personal journey.
One thing I am a firm believer is be bold and audacious in the pursuit of the things that set your soul on fire. So remember the conversation we had about being a child. Like, ask yourself, like, if money was not a problem
or limitation,
or time was not a constant, what is that thing I need or I want? And I think when you're really vulnerable to yourself, you'll even be surprised about the things you want. I keep saying, I want a custom-made BMW. I want the seats to be pink and they want to be inscribed Kruchkin. Like, of course, when I tell people that, they're like, wow, that's vain. But that's what I really want.
Oh, wow.
And,
I have never found myself, I've never let myself do that. I should do that after this.
I think it's important too, because then we sometimes get lost in who we are even to ourselves.
That's
But I
true. That
think
is very true.
being really, really honest and candid with yourself and saying these are the things I want, and not just in finances. I think even when you think about your health, you think about the relationships you're having with your friends, your family, your partners. I think be very, very bold and audacious and work towards them. I completely believe that, when you say it, you will achieve it, but you have to actually have steps. Like, it's the difference between a goal and a dream. I can just be here, like my BMW is being manufactured right now. But if I don't have an account, I don't have a saving plan, I haven't even checked how much it is, and I'm not actively striving towards that, then it will just remain a dream. And sometimes we already know there are things we just want to be dreams, but there are things that we want to be goals. We have to be courageous in that. The other thing I always remember, sometimes people will ask you, wow, like when you're reading my bio, it's always very strange when someone reads what you've done, because then it's a third party reading to them. I remember each of those journeys with a lot of sweat, blood, tears sometimes.
I believe you.
And it's okay. But to other people will just be like, wow, glowing resume. And people forget there were moments where I was struggling. I remember when I was at the Nike Foundation, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I felt like I was like, representing my country just by the fact that I was a Kenyan, and then letting them down at the same breath, because people were like, you're a Kenyan, but you don't run. And I'm like,
and you Nike.
Yes. But it was also really, really, because I was homesick. It was so far from home. It rained for like 100 days consistently. I was like, remembering there's a place where the sun shines every day, and that's called home.
I know.
But then, when you now say Nike, people are like, wow, but you don't remember those emotions that I had. So I say all that to say that sometimes when people look at your CV or people look at your experiences, people just see these punchlines and buzzwords, but people don't remember, or people don't see those struggles you have. And I think those are some of the things that make us human and make those experiences worthwhile. Because like I remember saying, I'm going to live every day at the best of my ability. I was managing quite a number of grantees, some of them who we still work with today, and she's the first. And because of time difference, like I used to work at 2 a.m. because then I thought it was important that I'm not telling the grantee to reach out to me at my work hours. I think it's important. Again, see people. And that was hard. But I do think it's important to keep learning, to keep doing those things out of your comfort zone. I keep saying, feel the fear, but do it anyway. If something is not scaring you, honestly, I think you have outgrown that space, but you have to be in spaces where you're terrified almost every day, because then I know you're learning. And when you stop feeling that fear, even in that space, then I do think it's important that you continuously grow. Personal development is a thing I keep thinking. Like it's not about going to school and getting masters. That could be something that's for you. But I think like learning, reading, talking to people, it changes your mindset. And even when you go to new spaces, and I get really upset with people when they go to new spaces and they don't even want to eat the food, they don't want to observe the culture. You're just there with your ketepa. I am a confirmed believer, travel with your ketepa, but please have a moment to have a moment. The Royco will finish and the tea will finish.
Plus, I think it's as you said, I think we learn through experiences.
I think, and it also helps you be able to unpack the stereotypes and the unconscious biases we have about people, and vice versa. I remember, some of the experiences I've had, people are completely taken aback by the fact that we're African, we speak English. And you want to explain to someone, do you not know anything about history and colonialism and why?
And how we speak English because we were actually colonized by British.
Now I don't get upset too much about that, because I recognize that not everyone might be having the appetite to learn and to keep enriching their own experiences. And I think just meeting people who are of diverse cultures is important. My other last thing is, I think traveling is not just the physical getting to a plane. I think you can travel through books. I think you can travel through music. You can travel through movies.
Yeah.
I think that's such an important thing, because then you'll notice there's so many commonalities. The conversations we're having about, especially why mentorship is important, or some of these stereotypes or fears women have, are not because we're Kenyans, are not because we're Africans. They are global. And sometimes that just really surprised me, how different we are, but how common or how similar we are. Like some of the fears we have are very, very similar. It's because, this is just how we are as women, as well as men, as girls and boys.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important.
And that the world is a global village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goal is to have a map, which I do have actually in my house, and I want to put pins of either a person, like I want a person that I know who I can be able to like call out with, like Nyambura, and say, let's have a conversation. Because I think that's
Expands.
an amazing gift.
Yeah, and it expands how you think and see things. That's true. Yeah, even in this field that you think you know or an expert, one of these days you hear a perspective and it changes how
it changes how you think.
Yeah, you look at things. I think we are winding up this conversation. I would never let you go without asking, what are you reading?
Oh wow. I'm currently reading 2 books at the moment. I just finished reading Purple Hibiscus again. That's one of my favorite books, and it just reminds me how children can do very many things for their mothers. And I think me and my sisters are those people. Like our mother, we would do anything for her. Yeah, even borderline criminal. Not that she is, but it's just a beautiful book, and it's quite sad as well. Just when you think about, and I think this is just another uncommon view of how people who grew up in privilege. Because like the characters really were well off, and they came from a very abusive family. Their father was quite very abusive to the mother, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's just so again, why I really like that book is because it really shows us sometimes the things that really define us are happening in closed doors, or they're happening with people who are nearest and dearest to us, and they can completely shatter how we live life.
Yeah.
The other book that I'm currently reading is The Secret Barrister. It's written by the Secret Barrister. So it's actually about law and how people break the law. Again, it's a very heavy book. It's not something that I am reading out of desire, but it's one of my mentors who actually gave it to me. And it just shows you how sometimes the law is the law, and the law sometimes is not right. Sometimes the law, because of the thresholds we have, people who have committed atrocities get away because of the burden of proof. And it's written by a real barrister, and he because he uses real cases and he doesn't want to be disclosed. Again, no creativity there. Secret barrister by the secret barrister, but it's just there are places where you can actually laugh about how the role of a barrister is not just representing people, but it's also being someone's coffee. I'm bringing you your coffee. I'm your bus fare provider. I'm your suicide watchman. And again, those are things especially going into law school, I had these grand plans of what law meant. And then you get into practice and you're like,
what is this?
I don't think this is what I thought. And again, it's all those legal dramas I watched growing up. Like I watched everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good book. Those are the 2 things I'm currently reading.
Oh goodness, looks like I have never read The Purple Hibiscus. Yes, I will definitely read it. I think there are books you think you know, but now with your a little review of it, I think I will look at it. Yeah. You started a conversation that makes me think we need another conversation, because I would love to hear about your experience as a lawyer. And just going through the hurdles, because I think they're different for different people. But I hear it's harder for female advocates, but we shall not get there.
Yes,
I guess we shall. But we shall get there eventually. But for now, I want to just thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank
you. This is our inaugural episode, and we are really happy that you came and that was you.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much, Nyambura, and keep rising, keep shining, and we really thank you for using your platform to just have stories, and because I think this is how we do our small little contribution, but yours is not small. To changing. Yes,
it's a little small, but we never know where this goes. Yes. So thank you so much for giving it your voice. It's been an incredible conversation, and looking forward to see you again.
Thank you.